Así es que hizo.
So did Brother Branham try to come down? He tried to come down and he could not. But see how God has shown us in that very simple act that you see there in that narration of Brother Branham, where the angel was showing him everything, and how we see that little detail which apparently seems like insignificant, but he said, I tried to make my feet go down. Look, it's a comment that apparently one will say, hey, that comment is out of place. The angel is showing him everything that is taking place there. And he kind of interrupts and says, I was trying to make my feet go down. That desire to be in that place where the fulfillment of the third pull was taking place, which is represented in this place, the places of the congregations where you are. Why? Because there, the voice of the third pull is being heard. So therefore, he with that act wanted to come down to our edge, to be with us, be part of what you are today. In other words, to be part of it. This human warmth, there is not there, because there is everything, perfection, more perfection, more perfection. There everything is perfect, everything is peaceful. It is something that cannot be compared to anything. But this only once, this is once lived. And this feeling that we have now, that we can talk, look at each other, being in these bodies. This is only one time. This will not happen again. When I came around, I would say to them, I want to get down there, because this, after today, this doesn't come back. So every minute, every second, you have to value it. Every moment that you can touch a little sister, a little brother, hey, here I am with some firstborn, a part of the church bride, gathered here. And one being able to have that contact even in these bodies, this is far greater than all the gold in the world. Because you are the most precious jewel of the Creator of God of heaven and the earth. For you, I would descend anywhere. See? Why? Because it is for you that He has come to fulfill His promise to take you to His house, to His home, to the marriage supper of the Lamb, to the place where that great supper is prepared, to where we have been invited and we have accepted that invitation. Now I stop today, which is what Brother Miguel was telling us. And I said, we will continue this later, because it would take a long time. But look, it was to talk about it here now. So everything works out for the good. Because maybe if I had given everything there, then we would have left. But as that was there, well, I'll continue here a little bit. Let's see, if not, we could read it. Not much was missing, was left. But God stopped me there, and we keep talking about that part where we are also seeing about Gehazi. Look, it was a great teaching. that God gave us there, how we have to be right with God. Because a person can have the message, he can have the promises, but if in his heart there is no honesty and he is not right with God, it is of no use to him to have the word, to have the message. As many say, we have all the messages, but is he unbelieving to what God is doing? It serves him no purpose. Now, the elect of God with a staff, with a sword, which is the word, being a believer. Therefore, and rightly, he said, I will not stand in front of the one who has that rupturing faith. That is something that is fully fulfilled in you and in me. No human being, if he knew, would stand in front of one of you, knowing what it is that God is carrying out in the life of each one of you, which is preparing us for transformation, for rapture. Look where I had stopped. This Brother Miguel, so let's complete that part to Brother Miguel, where I continued saying, he says, you didn't choose him, you know, he chose you, that's right, that's it. And now I keep saying, she said, I don't, she said, and he says, don't look at your clothes. I don't look at your clothes, I look at what you are. He said, in other words, the young man said to her, will you marry me? And finally, the agreement was made. Because you see, he can say to you, will you marry me? But if the person says, I don't like that veil of flesh, and does not look at the one behind that veil of flesh, then the decision is up to the person. You can accept with your free will, or you cannot accept. But blessed be the God of glory that he found his bride, and no matter her clothes, he has looked for the character, for it is what he has come to seek, character, and he has found it. And the bride, when she sees, even if some people don't like it, they look inside. Who is inside? Which is the pillar of fire. The pillar of fire, and to that one they have said, yes, Lord. Oh, of course, I accept you. And finally the agreement was made. And he said, 1 year from this day I'll return. You be ready, have the wedding garment on, for I will return and marry you right here on these grounds, and I will take you to Chicago, to Outer Drive. He would say, and I will take you to the marriage supper of the Lamb, there where you will have a castle to live in, and all this washing will be over and things. Then when the sisters or the cousins heard about that, they said, you poor little ignorant fool. Why? You know that man didn't mean that. You know, they were envious. And isn't that just exactly what they say today? How could a bunch of holy rollers, a bunch of people that hardly can write their own name, how would they ever be in the church? How would a group like that ever be? But that's just alright. When we got engaged and felt that betrothal kiss of Jesus Christ on our heart to take away our sin, something tells us that he is coming back again, just as sure as the world. Someday he will come back. Earlier she worked saving her little 75 cents, what they give her for her wages a day, and she was saving up her money to buy her wedding gown, to make everything ready. Oh, that was all of her thoughts, making ready. And she made herself ready. She got her clothes, her wedding clothes, while her cousins laughed at her and made fun of her, for there are always mockers and people who criticize. Look what he writes there. They laughed and mocked, which is their job. Nobody wants that job, but it must be left to those who are already preordained to carry out that work. For how else will the scriptures be fulfilled? Finally, it came to the final day. It is this day we are in the last day. She dressed herself in her wedding garment, and he writes the wedding garment. Oh, got all ready and cleaned up, and her little cousins come around and bowed by her and said, that's kind of mocking. Aha, you know, look, the one who is getting married. Well, you silly little thing. Why, you know, he didn't mean that. He wouldn't speak to a whore like you. Shall we say, marry a girl like you? But she made herself ready. She made herself ready anyhow. So it came along late in the evening, and they began to mock and make fun of her. She stood right at the door, waiting anyhow. Dr. William writes, the door. Why at the door? Look, the door is Christ, the Messiah, the anointed one, is coming. And so she said, and so he said, what time did he say he would be here? Said he didn't say, but said, he told me the night that he would marry. Oh, he gave me the engagement ring. He said, he told me it would be about 1 year from now. Therefore, I have got an hour left. Amen. Just keep waiting. I got 1 hour left, 30 minutes left, 10 minutes left. In other words, they do a countdown. And they laughed and made fun of her and called her everything. But finally, right at that crucial hour, they heard the sound turning under the wheels, the horses coming. And then he writes, 12 p.m. because he comes like a thief in the night. When the world is in darkness, he is preparing with the bride to take her away. What a thing it was to see that little bride that made herself ready jump out of the door and around through the rose-covered trellis out there to fly into the arms of the man that she loved and to be her husband, to pick her up and like that, and be married and right away. Some of these days, brother, those who are making fun and saying Holy Roller and Pentecost and things like that, we are waiting. We still got a little time. They say, there's no difference what there was ever. Don't worry, we got a little time left. I said to you, we have a little time, a bit of time left. Let's use it. This time, this amnesty time. And at that moment that he promised he will be here, and he has already fulfilled it. Today, that scripture is fulfilled before your eyes. In some of these days, we will take a flight and go away. Just be ready. Keep the wedding garment on. Keep all cruel out of your heart. See? Because it is a time to check and be prepared and ready to go, because the bride is going. That was what he wrote next, which I did not read to you now. The bride is leaving. Everything will be fine. In other words, it's up to us in this time to make ourselves a check. And thus, when God is going to use us, there is nothing to hinder, like the Gehazi was hindered there by the unbelief which he had. Because you notice, he did as the prophet commanded him, but it came to nothing. It was because he had unbelief in his heart. He had sin, a sin of unbelief, and that didn't work. But he did exactly what he told him. Put the staff on the child. Now, we wish that when he commands us to do something, and we do it, it happens. Because the word will also be placed in the mouth of the church bride. In this third pull, may God continue to prepare us, and may He use us greatly in everything corresponding to the third pull, which is the time of the spoken word. The word is spoken and things happen. So may God bless you and keep you. And that would be a dessert, as we say with Miguel. May God keep you. I love you so much, and value time. And have in your consciousness know who you are, because aware of who you are, it says when the bride recognizes what she is, then the rapture will happen. So therefore, men and women, boys and girls, adults, old men, old women, stand each other up. Respect your wives. Your wives respect their husbands, because you have at your side a daughter and a child of God, a son of God, a king, a queen. So therefore treat them as what they are, each in its rightful place, but also not trampling on the wife as if she were like a slave. Or sometimes there is the opposite, that then the woman is the one who commands and the man does not say a peep. But that is not right either, because the man is the one who commands in the house, but he's not going to be sexist and say, no, you have to do this and impose things. But marriage is something between two people, and the opinion of the two counts. So may God bless you and keep you, and go on serving the Lord, knowing who you are, knowing your position, knowing the position that you have. The bride knowing her position, because she is going, she's living, and consequently everything will be fine. There is the second part of this little sharing. So may God bless you and keep you, and enjoy those who are going to eat. See you. May God bless you.